Hi, this is Hernamewasprincess, and this is our single HG Cedars. You want her hand, but she takes yours. Those fingers dance along the board, all looking for some resolution. Each letter comes out through the eye, like how and when and where do you die. Three angles spelling out solutions. You dabble with the dark you get to ask a soul that time forgets. If there's a moment, then it's now. Well, H.G. Cedars died in 1945, and he ain't got time to save anyone anyway, no how. And you don't take advice from anyone who's 6 feet underground. That back keeps filling up with blood from where you store your love. Displacement gets so damn depressing. That pump's the only sound you hear, that's pounding in your mouth, your ears, and silence might be a little blessing. Well, thinking back upon the past, baptisms each negate the last, and never feeling quite anointed. When that red first hits your lungs, you'll meet the Father, Ghost, and Son, and I swear you'll all be disappointed. But you don't need anyone to let you know you're drowning. Friends just playing in the dark, blinding, gliding on the spark, amused and frightened from confusion. Speaking softly with the dead, of playing tricks their hands are led to secrets leaving no conclusion. And I won't take advice from anyone who's 6 feet underground. And I don't need anyone to let me know I'm drowning.
Cool. Damn. Yeah, there we go.
I've been on television before, so it's...
You've been on television?
Yeah.
Well, for what?
I was on HGTV for an episode of Tiny House Big Living.
No way.
Yeah.
What
So
the
I learned all of those, like you want to look just past the camera, and then they feed you lines as questions. It's all that weird stuff.
I've seen it. I saw the episode.
Such a weird...
Hold on, we're starting off with this, bro. How did that happen, bro? How did that happen?
How did it be on HGTV?
Yeah.
I had recently gotten divorced and sold off everything I owned, and I was living out. I was traveling 220 days out of the year, so I was living out of friends' couches and my old bedroom. And when I decided to get my own place, I was like, I want to do a tiny house. And a friend of mine worked for a company that was building them, and then my sister sent me a thing. This is like Tiny House Big Living is looking for people to sign up, and I was like, I told her, I was like, Corey, if I sign up for this, they're gonna call me the next day. She's like, that's pretty cocky. I'm like, I'm 6'7". I'm the tallest person that's ever applied for their show. Mm-hmm. Like, I was like, they already have the title, Tall Man Tiny House. It's gonna work out. And then I was like, all right, I'll see. And then I applied, and got a call the next day. And then I was like, oh, well, I guess since they'll be filming it, I have to build it. So then I built it, and yeah.
Okay, so next follow up. So with that, if it takes, so the episode's what, like 30 minutes to an hour? How long did it actually take? Because how did they fucking compress it all like that?
3 2-day shoots spread out over 5 months.
Oh, so they just got sections.
Yeah. They just cut it in.
Man, y'all motherfuckers be finesse.
Well, it's a trick. Yeah, the thing that the second director told me, which was the best thing to learn about reality television, he's like, so what are you getting out of HGTV? And I was like, nothing. They said it was like, not, you don't get anything for being on the show. It's just kind of like a thing to do. And then he told me, he's like, so here's the thing. When they start filming, they start editing the episodes, and then they start to build a story. So the editors build a story, and then they have to follow up in episode 2, and then they have to have a finale. So anything that you haven't finished yet, or you should send them a letter right now that says you don't have the time nor the finances to finish the projects that they've already filmed. And I did that. And then they sent me a check to cover the cost of those particular projects because they had already edited the footage. And they had to show a completed thing.
That's
oh my God.
dope.
So you're holding their footage ransom.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you have power.
Oh my God.
Oh man, that's fucking beautiful. I love that.
And I'll tell the rest of that story on the next episode of Shut Up and Listen.
Got you.
This motherfucker.
Let's get to it though. Today we have a very special guest. This is somebody I've learned of recently. I did a little deep dive into the band camp and everything. I'm thoroughly impressed.
Thank you.
Good work to the both of you. Also, I have a special friend co-hosting today.
Yeah, there's a monetary exchange happening behind the scenes to get me in this chair.
No, this is all volunteer work, bro.
Oh, whoops.
Either way, my name is Chrvns.
My name's Tim Mechling.
And this is Shut Up and Listen. Today we bring to you Hernamewasprincess. What up, y'all?
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. So I guess let's start.
You don't have to call me that the whole time. My name's Clay. If you wanted, if it's a little easier.
So yeah, we was about to get there because that's a mouthful for sure. But so Clay, for the people that don't know, tell them who you are. What do you do?
Sure. My name's Clay Christofferson. I am based out of Mount Vernon, Washington, out in the hills of some farmland. I have been a singer-songwriter and for 20 years, but never really perform, never really record anything. Of the last 5 to 10 years, I've been kind of an ancillary member of the Skagit and Whatcom group. I've helped a lot of other bands with graphic design, music videos, booking. I used to be a booking agent at a little brewery in Skagit, and so I got to meet a lot of really great people. And then, and this last year got inspired by everybody in the scene producing really great stuff, and had a lot of friends, such as Mr. Tim Mechling, hear my songs drunkenly at parties. They'd like, if a guitar went around, someone would hand me, was like, you play a song. And then I was like, all right. And then I'd bust out one of my old ones or one I've written and never recorded and never performed. And everyone was like, when are you going to perform live? When are you going to do an album? And then Washington's Records was doing an artist showcase, and they asked me to play. And I hadn't performed in front of people in a show setting in over 15 years.
Ooh, so that's a
so I got
right
practiced up and got a couple songs that had been hodgepodged. I got them kind of more solidified. And then Tim and I worked on a record of his called Itself the Sea, and we co-wrote a track and assembled a really long track, and then we together made a 44-minute music video to accompany the record. And
that sounds easy.
That's what
right?
you do.
That's light work.
Why
That's
not?
light work.
It's not that.
We was like, well, let's not if we can't get a band together. We tried to form a band to perform it live, and I played bass, and it became this thing where we couldn't make it happen. And so our discussion was like, well, if we can't perform live, let's do something. And Tim's experience with video work, and I'm experienced with video work, and we just made this just a monster of 44 minutes of visuals to accompany this record. And it's not just like AI generated.
Yeah,
it's like actual we put stuff together, and just he and I would call each other or like talk and like, how many hours did you put in on a song? It's like, I think I got about 10 into this. I'm halfway done. with this one track, and I've got 10 hours of just rotoscoping a rabbit, and I'm like, what about you? And I'm like, yeah, no, I've sat here and edited this same piece of footage. Yeah, so we worked well together. We created really cool stuff. We didn't work out anything monetarily. It's not what drives him and I.
It's for the art, baby.
Yeah, and then when it came time for me to make a record, that was when I was like, "Hey, I think it's my turn," and I couldn't.
He called in a favor.
Yeah,
It's very, very mob-esque.
yeah.
Yeah, so go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna ask you. So, how was that switch going from working on that project then shifting gears once that favor was called in?
It was pretty easy,
Just seamless.
honestly, to just like, most of it was putting a microphone in front of Clay, putting a couple takes in, and then just kind of like, okay, how do we make this not just sound like a microphone in front of a dude?
Yeah.
Like, how do we transform this into like a cohesive piece? And one thing I'll say about the record is every song has its own character. And I think part of that came out of Clay's been writing these songs. Some of them are like 20 years old.
I saw 2005 to 2024,
Yeah,
right?
and
That's
some of
stretch.
them are brand new, but each one's kind of a different chapter and kind of a different mood of his experience. And I don't want to speak for you, but it was easy to kind of, a lot of artists, they put out the hit single and then they put like 7 songs that kind of sound like the hit single.
That's annoying.
It's annoying.
Yeah.
And this was not the case with that. Each one was its own vibe and its own mood. So we were able to dress them in a way that added a lot to the music. I
Make
think.
each individual piece complete, and then when it all comes together, it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
And very early on, I'm, as I mentioned on my episode with you, like I'm obsessed with the album as a cohesive piece, right? The A to Z of it. So very early in the process, we started putting all the tracks into one long file. And we're like, okay, this one goes after this one, but there's got to be a weird thing between the tracks here. And it very so after every recording sesh, pretty deep into the process, I'd say like halfway through, we started listening to the A to Z album just as a suite, like as a whole. And I feel like that really helped us conceptually turn it into something that wasn't just a collection of songs.
hell yeah.
yeah. Well, one of the things with me is I have a lot of things in my head. I think that's what makes me. I'm very passionate, and I care a lot about cohesive ideas of music down to artwork and stuff. And that's when I work with other bands. I won't do anything without listening to their stuff.
Yeah.
And then I internalize that and what it means to me and the kind of images it goes. And for my own stuff, I had these. It's all songs written on acoustic guitar or electric guitar, and never really practiced outside of like 2005. They'd never been played with like full bands.
Yeah.
But I had the full songs in my head for the most part. Like I knew what they sounded like. I lack the ability to do it. I have the idea for it. I lack the ability to do a lot of the stuff. And with Tim was so like gracious in that mindset of like not only to bring his own ideas to the table, but to deal with a person that could go like, no, it's triplets, and it goes da 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 da, and him going like, okay, and then finding a way to do that.
But that's one of the dopest things ever, though, to be able to articulate something that's just sitting back there, where, especially for like certain instruments or certain things that I know I can't play. I can have a few homies. I'd be like, hey, yo, so just no, but him, it's almost there. You know what I'm saying? But being able to articulate it perfectly, and that's an art in itself.
I found that with like our two drummers that we had on the record, Phil Carter and Trevor Lance. Aside from those two and Hannah Wyatt are the only other people on the record. Well, Charlie Krengle does a bass line here and there. But Tim and I play everything on the record aside from strings and drums. And I found that at least the drummers we worked with and all the musicians we worked with to play the record live, I get really embarrassed and shy to be like, I used to do theater in high school, and like the worst thing you could do is give or receive a line reading, like when you're directing people. And it's like, no, you say it like this, and like just to tell the performer how to do it.
But then you're putting on your director hat. You're not being an actor at that point.
And when you have two of the best drummers I've ever seen live, like Trevor and Phil are phenomenal, and to be able to, like, at some point, like, they actually appreciated a thing of me going, no, I'm so sorry. No, what you've done is perfect. But it's this. And for people to take that information and just to have my brain be like, no, the song requires this. And to have people be so generous with their time and their effort and their ability, and to be so flexible with someone that just has it here but I can't do anything that they do, like, at all. But to still be generous was really cool. And Tim's the same way, and Hannah was the same way, of just being that, like, those sounding boards. And then also with Tim and I, like, I told him from the get-go, I was like, I want this to be a collaboration. I don't want you to be a producer. I do not like. Ooh. I want you to be a collaborator. I want you to have as much say in this as me. And there's so much stuff on the record that he added to it that without talking to me about it, but usually was like, what do you think of this? Or what do you think of this? Ooh. Because he got to live in those songs, hopefully as well, because there's nothing I hate more than, like, I've seen it so many times, and I've seen other bands do it, where you'll go into a studio and they'll record, and then they'll go like, what'd you think of that? That sound good to you guys? Yeah? Okay, moving on. And just that.
And it's not sounding good, and it's just ass, and you're like, come on, bro, I know we can get something better.
Yeah. There's also that, I think something really cool happens with collaboration, because everybody brings something to the table that's different. And I love just getting into Mad Scientist and recording by myself, but I also really like people's brains work really differently. And it's really fun to just just like their ideas that come off as really, really weird. And then you try them out and they're awesome. Like Clay wanted the piano triplets during a chorus, and it's like the song's in two, like a two, H.G. Cedars is in two. And he's like, but what if there's piano triplets playing over the top of this? And I was like, no, you can't. Okay, let's try it. And it ended up being the piano part that's in the take. And I'm
spaghetti at the wall, baby. Spaghetti at the wall.
Yeah, it was cool.
Well, we had in that same song in HG, we but there was just this trust going on, because everything inside of me as like a person that feels that they have a way around a melody or like a hook or a pop song, I guess. I fight against a lot of those things, but there was a point where, in the song, the chorus immediately falls apart. It's this build up, and we have this opportunity. And I was telling Tim, I was like, why don't we just do a full 4 bars of it at tempo, and then then we can start to degrade it. And the first take we did, I don't know why, but the first take I just didn't do that. I just slowed it down after 1 bar, after 2 bars, just immediately started collapsing the thing. And then that was just no. And then after we got done, I was like, okay, I'll do that. Well, let's redo that. We'll do it so people can get a sense of the chorus, and then we can destroy it. And he was like, no, that's cool. It's he's like, that's one of the coolest things I've heard in a song in a while.
Yeah, the chorus, on the first time hearing the chorus, slows down and gets sad, and I was like, oh.
And then just disappears. Yeah, never comes back.
Yeah, it peters out so quickly. It's like a nice car with a great engine, but the engine's broken, and it just deflates you so quick, and it became this really expressive thing that totally happened kind of on accident, but. You can't iron out the eccentricities. I'm a big believer in that, otherwise everything's going to sound like AI.
True.
Right?
True.
Right.
Formulaic.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
right.
Right. We'll be right back after these messages. We'd like to give a special thanks to Lost Giant Cider Company, always providing us with our cider beverages and the best of the cider beverages. Visit Lost Giant's Tap Room in the heart of Bellingham at 1200 Meter Avenue in the Haskell Business Center. It's just down the street from Lakeway Fred Meyer.
Menace Brewing, located in the Fountain District, is where flavor is unleashed. It serves as a local hub of craft beer and community. Recognized as the neighborhood's premier soccer hangout, you know I love me some soccer. Menace Brewing isn't just a brewery, it's the go-to spot for sports action and local engagement. Visitors can catch the game, connect with fellow fans, and immerse themselves in the heart of the spirited community. Menace Brewing invites everyone to join them, where every visit feels like coming home. Experience Menace Brewing in Bellingham today.
And welcome back.
In my capacity as a musical journalist, I have to be objective. But I also produced your record. And I have to ask, how does it feel to produce the most consequential record since Nirvana's Nevermind?
You'd have to ask Macklemore again.
Oh my God. Take it out.
Could I pick a different? You'd have to ask of Monsters and Men.
Who else is
Boy, do I not like of the Stomp, Clap, Whoa, Mumford and Sons bands. The of Monsters and Men is the most egregious. That little talk song I cannot stand. Sorry. If they're watching this, I apologize. But
I think they are part of the subscriber list.
Yeah, actually, they subscribed yesterday.
Okay, let's write an official apology to Of Monsters and Men.
My bad, G's.
Did you really want me to answer that question? No.
No. I was just, I meant to start with that one, but
Hey, my bad. I went too fast.
it's okay. We started talking about HGTV.
Yeah, that shit was fucking sick. What do you mean, bro?
Missed my window.
That's why. If you see me do any clever editing stuff,
Yeah, making
It's
some
all the office,
gym
bro.
face.
It's all the
yeah.
office. At the minute. For all because we had a bunch of audio listeners, but for everybody that actually watching the videos, this right here is for you.
we're gymming each other.
Yeah.
You gym camera one, and I'll gym camera two.
Yep, there we go.
All right. It's
All
in the
right, so
tank.
let's get back to the business.
Yes.
Yeah, let's back to business.
All right, so I'm curious because it's such a wide time frame. What would you say is what is the earliest song and what is the latest song?
HG Cedars and LDS both are from 2005. The demos come from the same recording session in a above garage apartment that me and my bassist shared. It was a one room that we put curtains up and split the bill. We recorded that those takes back in 2005. The latest song is there's some the latest song completely written brand new is probably Mother Night, which is the first track on the record.
Yeah.
That is the newest. Take Care is technically the last song on the record is the latest completed, but it contains elements of other songs I've written over the years. It's a 7-minute ending to the record, and it's
I like my long outros.
3 songs in one, and it literally is picked from other uncompleted songs. Like songs that I was like, well, I like the lyrics from this one, I like the beat from this, and then kind of it's a hodgepodge, and it kind of makes itself. And when we got to the ending, it felt with the rest of the lyrics, the last span of it, where I've got like 3 minutes of nonstop singing. All of those lyrics were written the day before final tracking. Because I knew we were going to do something there.
Yeah, how to get it done.
And when
Crunch time, baby.
When we recorded,
buzzer beater.
yeah, when we recorded everything for it, I just improv'd lyrics over the top of my head while we were doing it. I was like, oh, this will be kind of the idea. And then we had set a firm, we had like 2 weeks left where we had a firm no tracking after this point. We're mixing. This is all we're doing is mixing.
It's good to keep a schedule.
Yeah, and it was literally the day before that.
Which one of y'all was more strict about the schedule? I sensed that shit.
He's got
immediately.
a lot. Well, I mean,
I need a schedule.
Well, we had a hard release date. Like we had a hard release date.
And then wait, hold on. And then for the hard release date, didn't y'all do like just one show
on the release date?
Let's talk about that. Hold on, fuck
let's
that.
Go.
Let's dive in.
All right.
Talk to me. How did that feel? Like so what was the work leading up to it? How did it feel actually presenting it for the first time? And are you ever going to do it again?
Not publicly.
Because that's what it sounded like. It sounded when I was like, it was just that one time, take it or leave it.
Yeah, there's a private festival thing that we go to. We're gonna hopefully perform it there. But yeah, not like for publicly. At least like I might perform like some solo shows because I have still some merch I need to move, some T-shirts and whatnot. I might do like a couple solo shows or like duo or like trio, but like that band and the way it was performed, that was like a one time, and we practiced for 2 months or eight grand total practices, maybe 6.
All right, set the scene. Set the scene. It's for the people that weren't there. Just tell them.
All right. Conway Muse, Hayloft Stage, top floor.
Top floor.
Just Clay on a guitar, and then over time, other band members come in and start joining him.
Oh, that's sick.
He's playing the first song, and it wasn't a full Stop Making Sense Talking Heads situation where every song added another person, but there were people coming and going.
Do you have somebody come mid-song?
You.
Yeah, because
that's the way to do it.
Yeah, he came in at the end.
I was running sound that night, and so I had to step away from the board to get on stage, and I almost missed my cue, but I made it.
Yeah, so we Conway Muse is relatively intimate venue. You can fit maybe 130 people in there if you take out all the tables, and we did that. Like we sold it out before the night.
Nice.
And we had Friends for the Ghost and The Enthusiasts, which are 2 bands that I've worked with. I do all of their graphic design for both bands and did their music videos. And Enthusiasts, or Friends for the Ghost, I have a co-written song on that record. I co-wrote with Wes Jones on their record. And then Enthusiasts, I'm on their second record as a background singer, and I was in there with a couple recording sessions. So it was 2 bands that both have draws in their own right, and they're very good friends of ours, and then us. And yeah, we were it just comes from one of the things was it was as everyone's been saying, there's a lot of love in that room. A lot of people came not knowing what we sounded like at all.
And that's the most magical shit right there.
Yeah, that was a weird thing to play it to a sold out. So we sold out before the night. So tickets were pre-sold, and that was friends and family coming to support. But a lot of the Skagit scene was in attendance because Tim and I have been around doing our stuff, and they've seen what we've done, and they wanted to come out and support it.
They knew it wasn't gonna miss.
They wanted to come out and support it, but it was really cool. To come out there as essentially a super group because we got to pick and choose. Trevor Lance plays drums for Lazy Acres, and he's one of the he was aware of Hernamewasprincess back 20 years ago because we went to high school together, and he was a fan of that band back then, and always asked when we were going to record stuff, and I asked him if he would want to play drums on the record and perform with us, and without him, I don't think that show would have happened.
Held it down, anchor.
Yeah, he's incredible. And then Tim on bass guitar and piano, and keys and bass guitar and running sound all night.
A little Paul McCartney action.
Yeah, it was one of the best things to see him do. Just tap, finger tap the bass while playing the piano was really cool.
If you smack it and the action's low enough, you can just smack it, and that can be your left hand. Then you can play right hand with the keyboard.
Yeah, and then
Flowers, bro. What the fuck?
And then on lead guitar for the night, I got the front man from Friends for the Ghost and Lazy Acres, Wes Jones, is usually the rock star singer. Lead and rhythm guitarist for his 2 bands, and he he and I are best friends. We've written songs together. The song "Simple Answers" that's on this record also appears on Lazy Acres' record from 4 years ago. They do a really rockin' version. They just love that song forever, and so they do a version of that song. And Wes agreed to just do lead guitar and bass. Not just sing backup, to take the front man, and he just wanted to be a part of it, and so he did lead guitar and backup vocals, and then
that's love.
For 3 songs, because Hannah Wyatt was busy at another show, she does strings on the entire of the record. We wanted her there, but we had to. So we got Carly Jones from Friends for the Ghost and Tony Wright from Cascade Cody and the Unpulled Bootstraps to play strings for 3 songs. And yeah, magical night.
Beautiful.
Felt really cool because the coolest thing was like everybody loved us and they were hoping that it would be good. And they were going to clap and applaud whatever happened. You walk into it and you get like...
I know.
It was my, essentially my Make-A-Wish concert.
Yeah.
Like I announced it was like a one-time only thing.
Come on, you can't miss this one.
Yeah. And so like everybody came out. We came out in suits. We were all dressed in like leisure suits.
Oh, that's dope.
And made it like a thing. And at the end, like I felt like everyone was very excited for us, and they clapped enthusiastically. Just like when I walked on stage by myself, we got like a little bit of that. But I felt like by track 3, we had definitely earned people came up and told us like they didn't know what they were to expect, but they were blown away. And yeah,
because people have only seen you really play like acoustic guitar and sing around a campfire before, and some of those songs are like egregious. They're like damn, like some of those are bombastic, like early Modest Mouse sounding, punky, just explosive kind of songs, and some of them go to like just all the way to 11, and like I think people were expecting more of like an intimate night of singer-songwriter music, which that element was in there, but it also, these ones go to 11.
Yeah, we started out the show with Simple Answers, which is the only one that really anybody had heard of me. It's the one I played the most, and they know a lot of it from the Lazy Acres performance recording of theirs. So I just decided to get that out of the way. It was like everybody's favorite song because it's the only one they know of mine.
Shit. I got a quarrel with that, bro.
Okay.
Fuck that.
Okay.
So what you should have done is start with some brand new and then kind of like build it up. Put that not last, but like in like the last like 3 or 4 in the latter half of the show. So like, you guys know this one, sing along, because you already got them hooked by then. Sing along and boom, moment, mic drop.
It's a really sad song. It's just a real...
You can make waves, baby. You can bring it back. That's why I said not the last song. It's like 3 or 4. So you do the sad, and then start bringing it back up again, or whatever you feel.
I think, I guess we did fuck up. The show
fuck
went
up.
bad. Never mind. Sorry, I was wrong. The show went bad.
Okay.
You're right.
Yep. Sucked.
That was bad. We messed up.
Nah, you ain't fuck up, bro.
I wanted to start off with it because it was just like a thing of like
comfortability.
I didn't want people to like wait for it as well. Just like a thing of like, oh, we know this one. Oh, I love that song it plays. I want to hear this. I want to hear this. And I thought it was just like going up and just.
So now you gotta listen. Okay, now you're right.
A solo thing of just
My
like,
bad.
here it is. Here it is. Here's the song. And now that that's out of the way, you don't know what's coming at all. Like we released one single before, like a week before it came out, and so people kind of had like heard.
Aloft, was it?
HG Cedars. Yeah, Aloft was an old demo that I released a music video for like forever, like maybe a year ago.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
The new version has a fun story.
Ish, like it's it's good-ish. It's
That's it.
It's ish, like it's an ish version. It's like it's not it. It's a loft-ish. It's almost there.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's okay.
I mean,
Got you.
It's an ish version.
To begin with, you wanted that one on the record, and I've had my own little scheme about that song.
What'd you do?
I wanted to do something weird with it, so I fed him a bunch of bullshit. I was like, I want to have the same sonic footprint as the rest of the album, so let's re-record it. And he was like in love with this recording that he'd done years ago, but it was balanced. We didn't have the stems for it.
Yeah, so you couldn't really work on that at all.
Yeah, so I couldn't, do my thing with it.
Stem splitters these days, bro.
They leave little artifacts.
I know.
Yeah.
The Logic one's pretty nice though.
Really?
Logic has like a one that's in there.
Oh.
Shout out to Logic, sponsors of Shut Up and Listen.
Apple.
Pick up the
Apple
phone.
call me, bro. I need a new phone, bro.
Anyway, like I had the idea of that Radiohead song "How to Disappear Completely." It's off of Kid A, and it's just
I'd have to hear it.
It's got really discordant strings happening really low in the mix. It's like microtonality, just like There's an Ondes Martineau. Is that what it is? It's a synthesizer from the 20s that is like $100,000 to get your hands on.
Jesus.
And they had like 8 of them playing live at one point. Anyway, it's a ring-powered synthesizer from the 20s, and the amplifier is a giant leaf. Sounds like I'm making this up, but it's real. Anyway.
I mean, it's Kid A, bro. Of course that fucking makes
Yeah,
sense.
exactly. Okay, but I was like, oh, I want to give Aloft the how to disappear completely treatment. And so my girlfriend Hannah is like a concert violinist, and she's really good at composing. And we worked together to make this really eerie, like kind of bed of like surreal strings, because so much of the album has to do with nightmares, because he's got sleep problems and he's got night terrors and stuff. And I was like, I want to manifest night terrors through string section. So there's this underpinning of like sinister strings that just kind of like builds and builds and builds and turns into this menacing sound by the end of it. So
that's track 2.
That's track 2.
Yeah. So that, and if you're a fan of Tape Delay, you're really gonna like Hernamewasprincess, that record. Cause
I know I am.
The end of Aloft, like not only was there Hannah's string performance, but then there's some studio trickery that listening to it. I remember hearing it for the first time, like in the room, like when we did it, and it just feels like the music is like pulling you under, which is kind of a cool. I love it. I love what you did on that track. But yeah, it went from like a real. I recorded that in a shed, yeah, and with like me on guitar and then a MIDI piano, and then he made me re-record everything in my house, and I tried to make it sound as similar as possible. And then when the thing he sent back was just gorgeous. Yeah, and I still had the nerve to be like, you added a note in the melody that I don't like. Can we duck it?
Yeah, I had to duck out of piano note, a single note. I was
like,
that's the little details that count the most, man.
Hey, music lovers, want to be part of something bigger than just another music app? Check out Subjam. It's more than just streaming, it's a movement. Founded on the spirit of DIY and grassroots energy, Subjam is here to support music communities, promote free and open content, and help artists fill venues. You remember the episode where Jordan from Subjam came by and we went through the app? You gotta check it out ASAP. They're looking for passionate people like you to beta test their new iOS app and help shape the future of music. Join them by visiting subj.am/beta today. Let's make some noise together. Binary Recording Studio is a versatile space designed to cater to all music genres. And when I say all, I mean all. If you're into jazz, rock, hip-hop, or anything in between, Binary is equipped to bring your music to life. With the expert engineering and the best setup, my boy Bob, he can capture the essence of whatever you are wanting to create and bring it, just to reality. From there, book your session today, unleash your creativity at Binary Recording Studio. But for real, my boy Bob, he will not disappoint. And welcome back.
So before we part ways, I want to try this thing out. So you give us a top 5. Don't tell us what the category is, but just give us a top 5. We got to guess the category.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. It's your top 5 though, so I don't even know you that well. You better get this fucking right.
I think I might.
You better get this right.
Yeah.
Just a top 5.
Just top 5. Don't tell us the category, but your top 5.
Okay.
And while he's thinking, we would like to thank our sponsors, Menace Brewing and Lost Giants Cider Company.
And Apple Logic. Yeah.
Apple Logic.
Yeah, great DAW for everybody.
Shout out Rock Soul Studios.
Danner
and
Boots.
Binary Recording Studios.
And Danner Boots, made in the USA boots, brought to you from Portland, Oregon. Hail to the Thief. No, not Hail to the Thief. King of Limbs. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Hannibal, the book. The Donut Cheeseburger. And Plymouth Rock.
Okay, so
I thought I had it for a second.
Are these all in one category? Do we have to guess the category?
You asked for your top 5, right?
Yeah, top 5, but it's like...
It's one category.
Yeah, it's one category,
One category.
At first, shit.
Top 5 things you have
Experience.
experienced in the last year?
Top 5. You want me?
No. Let's get one more guess.
One more guess. I like
Because I just realized mine was dumb because fucking donut cheeseburgers not a story.
Yeah. There's always a story with the donut cheeseburger.
Yeah, that is a fucking story.
That's
yeah.
a story.
It's always a donut. There's always a story with a donut cheeseburger.
I was gonna say like. You got no other guess? Is that your top in like different categories?
No, it's a top 5 in one list, one category.
What's that
That's
list?
my top 5.
Fuck it.
The list is biggest disappointments.
Oh,
what?
Highest anticipation, biggest disappointment.
Once upon a time in Hollywood was a disappointment.
Oh, I hated that movie.
Damn.
I watched it in theaters and I thought it was
cut the mic. Cut the mic.
Cut his mic,
Sorry,
Bob.
Cut his mic.
It's like one of the most
he's done.
masturbatory films I've ever seen, and it was just yeah.
Tarantino at this
I
point
understand.
in his life.
This the kind of movie it's exactly what was to be expected of.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Great. It was supposed to be great. He did exactly what he was supposed to do for 3 hours.
Wait, hold on, wait. Pause. The biggest disappointments. All right, so
I
why?
was so looking forward to after after In Rainbows, which is one of my favorite records of all time. I thought I was so excited for Radiohead's "The King of Limbs." I bought I pre-ordered the special edition because the In Rainbows.
I know this one's gonna be great.
Yeah, I was like, this is gonna be great. I was reading, oh, it's gonna come with its own newspaper. I waited out in line on Record Store Day to get all of the little bonus stuff that came with it and all the trinkets.
And it's short and it sounds like a Tom York solo album.
Yeah, just for and it's still there's still tracks on it I love and a lot of other cool ideas, but for my anticipation was so high. Yeah, that it was I would say biggest disappointments of drop off.
The people that defended that album to me, it was but it's very textured. I'm like, I don't care if it's fucking textured. It doesn't sound good. It sucks.
And then, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I love Tarantino. I'm an apologist for him. I have a lot of issues with Hateful Eight, which I think is his worst film. I will say the Hateful Eight might be his worst film.
Are you talking about the film version?
Directors.
Or do you mean the extended?
I saw the full thing.
I
saw the
extended.
70mm with the intermission. I saw in theaters, the big thing.
Gotcha.
And I was just boy, there's just
It's just the one part. It's blah, 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 blah. Yeah,
that one's got its own
Tarantino,
problems. But and then I was so excited I was like, oh, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Inglourious Bastards was one of my favorite movies, and I was so excited for this. And I was just oh, man.
All right, hold on. Fuck this, bro. What Plymouth Rock?
Plymouth Rock is the most disappointing national monument in... it is... not to spoil anybody's thing. I was on 4th of July, I was at Plymouth Rock. I was on White Sands Beach, on Cape Cod. I was celebrated the 4th of July I was visiting my girlfriend. She lived in Boston, and we went up to her friend's house in Plymouth, her parents' house. And I was like, oh, I got to see Plymouth Rock. You got to go see Plymouth Rock. And then we walk up, and there's this big, there's this gazebo, this stone gazebo built around it. And then you walk up, and you look through these, bars and look down, and it's just a rock. It's not a big rock out in the water that you think the ship hit it. You know what I'm saying? You imagine as a kid, you're oh, it's Plymouth Rock. It's
huge,
where they hit it, you're this is fucking America.
You stand on it.
You walk up to this gazebo and you look down, and I swear to God, it's the size of that stool. It's a little bit bigger than that stool. And people throw their trash down.
I feel they didn't remember which one it was, so they just named one.
I think it's changed a bunch of times. It's
well, I mean, the Pilgrims are famously excited by very dull things.
It was just... that...
Fuck Plymouth Rock, bro. What's the most satisfying national...
national monument?
I was going to say Zion.
Solid.
Yeah.
Zion's
I think
solid.
the Weeping
Zion's
Eye in
good.
Zion is phenomenal.
That's solid.
Yeah. It's pretty incredible.
That whole park looks like Mars. It doesn't even look
Mars,
like Mars. It looks like another planet.
Jupiter, if it wasn't all gas.
Yeah.
If it wasn't all
Take the gas away.
You take the gas out of Jupiter. You got all that place at home.
Solidify some of that gas, bro. That's exactly what it looks like.
Solid Jupiter.
That's a solid Jupiter. And then at my highest of Fat Boy, I was when they released.
What would you want to try that?
Dude.
So it's the donut.
The donut's the buns.
The buns is donut. Okay.
What is it, glazed donut or just
Yeah,
regular?
it was a Krispy Kreme. The Krispy Kreme donuts were
With
the
burger
buns.
inside, bro?
Yeah.
I was just like, fuck that up?
I mean, that does sound like it could be hidden.
As 100 pounds heavier than I am today, and like a massive stoner at the time, I went in. I went in looking. I was like, this is going to be the best thing ever, and yeah. And then Hannibal, the book Hannibal by Thomas Harris is one of the worst books I've ever read, and I was big into like Red Dragon, Silence of the Lambs. I loved the movies, and then I loved the book. I was like, I read both books, and the third one came out. I was like, oh, Hannibal, and read it, and just was mad the entire book. It's just I was angry the entire time reading it.
But still couldn't put it down. You gotta finish. I gotta see it through.
Finish it.
Got to see it through.
And then at the end, I was like, fuck. I literally, when I closed the book, I was like, well, fuck that. Like, I'm just wasting my time.
This, bro.
Yeah.
Imagine somebody seeing you finish a book. You just have that placid reading look on your face. You said, like, fuck that. Like, just somebody
in the trash.
Yeah. I've heard that about the book that The Godfather's based on. Mafia by Mario Puzo. It's supposed to be just dog shit. It's supposed to be a really, really bad book.
That's another book I ain't read.
I read a book a year, and I'm not. So it's just very rare that that's going to work its way in.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Hey, that's more than a lot of people read.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I know y'all love listening to the podcast. Keep listening, but do yourself a favor. Read a book. Yeah, New Year's resolutions coming up. Read a book.
What's the last book you read?
Fucking 12 Notes of Life is by Quincy Jones. 12 Notes of Something in Life by Quincy Jones.
Oh, nice.
It's basically you heard all his travels and everything, yeah.
That sounds great.
It was actually really dope.
Everybody's talking about the Rick Rubin book right now.
See, I haven't got to that.
Active creativity or something like
that?
Yeah.
I have it. It was given as a gift to me. I've never read it.
Hey, let me borrow it, bro. Let me read it.
Okay. I cannot confirm nor deny on that.
Yeah. I do not recall. All right, so for the people at home, everybody that's listening in their car on their way to work, just chilling at the house, what is that one piece of advice you want to give them before we part ways?
Man, the one piece of advice I'd want to give them is that if you got something in the back of your head and you can't shake it, and you think that like it's never going to be good enough to get out and share, just make it happen. Like, just do it. Like, just start and find somebody. Like, finding a partner is an important way. Just like the gym or anything like that. Like, finding someone that'll hold you to it and be there and do everything they can to help you on your journey is a big thing. And as Tim said in a wonderful piece that he wrote, like, everybody's got something creative inside of them, and they just sit there and they don't get it out for a long time, or like for forever. And doing this was like finishing this thing and putting it out there is one of the best things I've done. And not just I am proud of the work. I think it's a great record. But I'm most proud of the fact that it happened, that we did it. And I don't think you can shake, like, that's something that no one can take away from you. Is that it's done, that we did it. Like, we can look at that and go, we did that.
Go back, and that's a journal entry. When you go back to it, you're like, oh yeah, I know exactly where we were when we were recording this. I know what we ate that day, and fuck yeah, just get it out. Find someone to work with.
Do it.
Community is everything,
just
baby.
Do it. Just do it.
Do it. And on that note, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Chrvns.
I'm Tim Mechling.
I'm Clay from Hernamewasprincess.
And this is Shut Up and Listen. Y'all stay beautiful, stay moisturized, stay hydrated. It's cold out there. Stay warm, baby. Man. Thanks again for tuning in to Shut Up and Listen. For more captivating content, including videos, articles, and everything music related, visit our website at shutupbham.com. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button wherever you get your podcasts and join the conversation by following us at Shut Up and Listen BHAM on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Shut Up and Listen is proudly produced by Rocket Soul and Binary Recording Studio. Stay tuned for more fantastic episodes.